Alright, so let's get started, man. Put some new tires on my bike, and the front fender doesn't fit anymore. But I really like that big tire on my 9T. This is a BMW. And the back's bigger too, so it's 25 millimeters diametral. And I can feel it, it stands a little bit taller. So one of the things that I want to do is I'm going to make guards. I'm going to match the design of the front fender, but I'm just going to stop them right here. And then I'm going to have configuration. Really the only thing that needs to change on this is just the look, because you can't really mess with that. And I'll probably stay the same distances around. Maybe I can grab around that. This to that will never move, so I can get pretty close to that shock. We'll see what I come up with. Anyway, enough about that. Let's go check out the sunset, okay? Gripped up on 2. Okay, so let's take a look at Onshape and basically how do you go about designing some Fender Eliminator brackets. I like using scan data. I have a cheap scanner, not much to it. I think it's a structure scanner, and gives me the ability to take the real world and bring it back inside of Onshape through a mesh. I'm showing the original fender on it, and you can see where it rubs the tire, so that has to go. And this is going to replace it right here. Now, scan data is great because it's 3D. You can rotate the model and see what's going on. But the other thing that I do is I'll include some sketches and then photographs of the sketches. So by working it, you can actually get a marriage of all of these things, the images, the scan data, and that gives you the ability to be able to go off and see what this thing's going to look like before you actually make one of them. This is for my motorcycle, so I don't want to make 5 of them to get it right. I want the first one to work. And just going through setting up the model, this will ensure that I can make one, bolt it on, and not make any more. This is the original scan of the actual bracket itself. It's a cast aluminum part. And I'm going to go over how I actually created it. It's not that hard to do inside of Onshape. I do a lot of surfacing inside of Onshape, and I don't have any issues with it. What I'm doing now is selecting the primary surfaces. These are the actual facets on the bracket that I wanted to match. So the way that I actually go about doing that, let me expand inside of here, and I pick a couple of vectors. I'm using the 3D spline tool that Ilya created, and from those 2 vectors I create a plane, and all of these faces, my primary faces, have facets that I use to create and build these. Once you're done with your primary faces, then what you have to do is build your transitionary surfaces. And I'm using bridge curves a lot. Now, a bridge curve is nothing more than a 3D sketch with a 2D spline. The difference is that they're really easy to generate. With this particular one, I created the transitionary edge, and then I made it a fill surface inside of there. The first edge was tangential, the other ones were positional. The rest of it is nothing more than transitionary surfaces to blend between my primary surfaces to secondary and tertiary surfaces. Notice that at the bottom I actually have a 3-sided surface navigating into one point. I didn't think that would actually solidify, especially when you thicken it. I did not thicken this, mainly because the surface edges weren't controllable. So I ended up offsetting the surfaces, scaling them down, and then creating the transition myself, which created a cleaner looking package for me. And then of course there are solid modeling routines, and that is how I actually put the mounting holes inside of there. So it is a combination of the two, surfaces and solid modeling. I've included it on Rusty Shed. There's not a whole lot of changing that goes on in Rusty Shed, but right now you can turn the tire off and you can turn the shock absorber off. You can always check out the Fender Eliminator part on rustyshed.com. Thanks for watching.